are looking at Sanseru Kata combinations. So we're going to go through the whole kata, but we're going to repeat certain combinations from this kata over and over. So let's begin from the Subidach, and we start stepping forward, double block, pull, hit back, and we step. Pull, hit back, and we step. Pull, hit back, and we continue a couple of steps forward just to focus on the correct movement here. Let's do the same thing going backwards. Right, that's the very first part of the kata. Not to get too technical with the applications behind this, but the stance and the structure of the arms need to be strong because you're engaging with your opponent and you want to be hitting them while maintaining a good defensive structure. So, let's move on to the next combination. So we step forward, this is our third step, we pull, hit. We open the right hand, bring the edge of the hand to the elbow, pull the left hand back, and at the same time, circle the right hand out. So let's do that again. 1, 2, and 3. I'm not straightening the arm, I'm just pressing. Right, now from here, we go 1, 2, 3. So the hand goes down, thumb goes under, pull. Let's do that again. So this is quite a long combination that we're going to work on now. So from here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this combination then continues. Later on when you do the bunkai, you'll see that this all fits into one smooth movement. After I've pressed, step 1 and 2. And we'll stop at that point. So, right in front, left and out. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. Again. Ich, ni, som. Last time. Ich, ni, som. Right, from here we continue. So from this position, we're going to kick, elbow, punch. A little bit of a discussion needed here, especially if you're doing the kata on the Emerson lines and you're kind of thinking a little bit further and you're trying to think about the bunkai behind it. Once we find ourselves in this position, to me, it makes sense that the first kick would be short and the second kick would be long. I don't want to tread on any toes, or my opinion in any case doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but to me it makes sense in terms of if I am controlling someone's arm or if I'm being pulled and I find myself in a position where I need to catch the arm, I'm kicking, I might not be doing a very long step. I might do a quick kick and follow through with the second one as a more penetrating blow or off-balancing movement or whatever you're thinking about. But that first one kind of to me feels like I'm being pulled into the kick, get my balance, and then deliver the attack. One defensive, one offensive. But let's move from this position. 1, 2. Kick, long stance. Elbow, punch. Let's do again. Kick, long stance. Elbow, punch. Let's go again. Ich. One more. Here. Knee. And let's do one last one. Som. Right, let's move on to the next combination. The next combination, we're going to work on the Kansetsugiri. It's going to go into a couple of different angles. I think the angles just want to help you with footwork. Being able to do this combination from various angles and finishing it off with giving you several options of how to take your opponent down. But we'll look at that in the bunkai. So from here, elbow punch. Sweep. I'm dragging the edge of the foot of the little toe side up. Once I've done this, I'm going to do my Kansetsugiri. So from this, pull, comes up to my elbow, Kansetsugiri, comes back up, and the next part, I think, is also an attacking movement. It's not just putting my leg across to turn. There's emphasis behind putting the leg down. So from here, down, and turn, and then we repeat. Kick, elbow punch, drag the foot up, kick. This one goes into Sanshin, and I turn, kick, elbow punch, I drag the foot up, kick, step across, emphasis on the step, turn, kick, elbow punch. Right, let's look at the couple of turns here again. So our first combination now stopped, or our first kick stopped here. We'll take that as part of the previous combination. Now we're looking at the next combination, which is only going to have our 3 kicks. So it's pull, attack, step across with emphasis, turn, kick, elbow punch, pull, attack, step into Sanshin, nice and strong, turn, kick, elbow punch, pull, attack, step across, block, kick, elbow punch. Right, so main thing there is focus on the Kansetsugiri and the Fumikumigiri on both sides. I'm attacking this way, I'm attacking that way. Both are attacks for the legs. Let's move on to the next combination. Now, understand the Kata starts here, you were facing that way. To do the combination, I'm going to face the camera. So I'm just going to take this position and I'm going to put it here. Just now we can bring it back again. So right leg in front, Zenkutsudachi, Empyochi, Hyakuzuki. If my left foot is on this white line here, my right foot, sorry. If my right foot's on this white line here, I'm going to pull my left foot onto that line as well, that the heels go on the same line. So from here, I'm going to pull both hands back. At the same time, I'm going to pull my leg back, and I'm going to be dropping into Shikurachi. Those that know me know that I've got terrible shikus. My hips are non-functional, but you go as low as you can into a proper shiku. So let's go again. From here, hitch, right over left. Step on that line. Make sure you stay on the center line here. Pull both hands back. And now left over right. This becomes a very interesting movement within bunkai, analysis of kata movements. Let's just make one thing clear. This is not someone kicking at you and you are blocking their leg. Anyone says it is, I would like to see them do that against someone who is intentionally trying to kick them and is willing to beat their face to a pulp after the kick. Not someone who goes, yay, and then stands there and allows the combination to happen. I'm talking about someone that's coming in for the kick and coming in to just beat you to a pulp. Then this against the kick is a terrible idea. Okay? My opinion doesn't count for much. So, from here, we drag the body out the way. We are controlling someone's body. We're in the fight here. Grabbing hips, grabbing shoulder, and we want to off-balance our opponent and take them down to the floor. This movement has nothing to do with the actual cross of the arms in terms of this is blocking something, but more of the movement itself, how I'm going to off-balance my opponent and then attack the neck. But let's look at just the basic movement of the kata. Pull the leg, 1, and right over left. Pull the leg, 2, and left over right. Let's do it again. Right over left, left over right. Edge, knee, edge, knee. Last one. Edge, knee. Okay. Now we move on to the next combination in the kata. So we've just done it from that position, 1 and 2. We find ourselves facing the camera again. So we're going to head back in the direction we came from. So we move 1 and 2, now we're going back. Doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the previous movement. It could, but we are looking at it from a new strategic movement you're learning to use in a fight. So from this position here, we're moving forward, and as we're moving forward, we're blocking up. 1. Now, this movement usually means I'm scooping, either catching an arm holding it at the bottom, or catching a leg holding it at the bottom. While the top arm is clearing any obstacles in my way here, and then pressing with the elbow against my opponent's sternum. You can kind of see where this is going. You want to throw your opponent here. The lower shiku, the better. Do not copy my shikus. Right, left over right. We move forward. We're covering, right goes up, left is going to cut towards solar plexus. I'm stepping in, I'm dropping in shiku, I'm pulling my shoulder blades back. Just focus on the shoulder blades. Then, the right foot pulls into short stance. I turn the hands. I pull them in. This is for my double punch or throw. So I pull back here. Now I've got to move forward. An idea here is the same you get from Sahunshin Kata, which is your sweep and then move forward. So as you've pulled, you want to take the leg out, and there's also your kiai. So let's look at it from this position. 1, I get my arms in position. 2, I'm driving into my opponent. 3, I've caught my opponent. 4, I pull, I start the turn, and this is all part of the next movement, and move. You have that little sweep in case it's necessary. Take his leg out. You've already got one leg, and push them off balance. Let's go one more time. Left over right. We move in, arms in position, step long, drop into shiku, pull the shoulder blades back. You've caught your opponent. Pull and move. The next combination from there is the mirror image. Partly from a Kion perspective, a basic perspective, what you do on the left, you can do on the right. From an Oyu perspective, the way I'm angled now is different from the way I was angled for this one. So it's got a different entry point, it's got a different exit point. And that could lead to some interesting discussions on bunkai. So we're here, we step across, we cover, we turn 1, we block 2, we right leg in front, right hand out. Leg comes in, I cover, get arms in position, step long, turn into shiku, pull the shoulder blades back, pressing the elbow at 45 degrees down and back, pull the leg in, rotate the arms, same as the basic we practiced last week, pull in, do a sweep, and slide forward, double punch. So let's start from this side again. Right hand out. Combination goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again. 1, 2, 1 and 2, 3, 4 and 5. Right. Now that we've done that, let's get to the final part of the kata, the ending of the kata. So, it's got a little bit of a grasshopper, fancy kung fu style movement to it, and sometimes it'll be taught as Koken strikes, which in themselves aren't bad strikes. Understand, when I'm in the fight, I can use the back of my wrist to hit the guy against the nose or the side of the jaw. What a pleasure. It's a hard part of the wrist to be able to hit with. But the whole position here should tell you this is not strikes. I'm not striking my opponent. The rotation of the arms should tell you there's always something in between the arms here that I'm controlling. And that is a throwing movement, which again we'll look at in the bunkai. But keep it in mind that you're not turning and what's the most ridiculous idea? Someone's going to hit me. I get into position to fight. That's bullshit. That doesn't happen. But using it as a throw, that's a possibility. So, we end up with the left leg in front, Sanshin, and we've done a double punch. We bring the left hand up underneath. 1. Now, the feeling as we did last week is wrapping the right arm to my body. What does that tell you? I'm underhooking my opponent's arm and I'm pulling it towards me. So, for solo training, that gives you that indication of what you're doing against your opponent. 1. I'm pulling the arm in. I'm underhooking. This is probably catching the neck, underhooking the arm. So, trap. I turn my foot and I'm going to throw my opponent over my hip. I want to throw this direction. Trap and throw. General idea. So, in the kata, it's slightly abstract, slightly hidden. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Wipe the table, pick the tablecloth up, down, and finish. Let's look at it again. So from here, my left hand catches the right and pulls it to me. My right foot pivots. I'm pulling my opponent to me. I'm stepping, turning in Shiko. Shiko tells you this should be a stable stance. I'm going to be faced with some weight of my opponent. Bring the arm down. Rest your left hand on solar plexus. Wipe the table. Pick the tablecloth up. That should be the finish of your throw. Let's do one more time. Up. In. Turn. Step. Shiku. Press. Lift. Last time, and then we're done with Sanseru Kata. Up. Pull. Turn. Step. Drop. Press. And lift. Down. And finish. Hope you enjoyed that. Next week, we do the whole kata.